Alright, what's up? It's your guy Demon Dylan here. I'm an Octane main. I like juicing myself around like an accidental armory downgrade of Flash, jumping on industrial grade trampolines, and the occasional long ride on a zipline. Alright, today I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the new Elite Q, and the challenges that go along with it, some of the stuff we just got to kind of hold us over a little bit until we get Season 2 coming here in a couple of weeks. Now, there was some really cool stuff that I noticed as soon as I get home from work. I immediately jumped right on with some friends. That way we could grind it out, take a look at them challenges, and kind of see what it is that we were expecting and maybe some things that we didn't see. And there's a lot of cool things with it, and we're going to get into that. Now, first things, the Elite Q. The Elite Q is a new game mode where essentially if you play one match and you rank top 5 or better in the match, you get put into a lobby with other players who have also been able to rank as 5 or better in their previous games. So it's a way of playing against some higher caliber players, not quite a full ranking system, but something along the lines of a harder challenge versus the regular normal gameplay. And me and my friends were talking a little bit about it, like what were we going to expect, what kind of strategies were we going to see from people. We thought maybe we might see people hugging the outside a little bit more, dropping some more desolate places, hanging out on the circle quite a bit more, but I was kind of surprised. So there was a little bit of that, but for the most part, like even if it was a desolate drop, say Thunderdome, we dropped there once, and it took us quite a bit to get to it. It wasn't just right next to where we were going. We had about 1,000 meters we had to actually go to get there, and we were thinking, all right, maybe there's gonna be 1-2 squads, kind of something typical. But apparently 4 to 5 other squads were thinking the exact same things we were. We got there, it was really hectic. I've never really seen Thunderdome that hectic, and it was kind of neat because it wasn't like one squad turns and runs away and you have to try to struggle to find loot. They did add more loot with this update. I'll get into that a little bit more later. But the first thing to note is that everybody did play more aggressively. It wasn't like they turned and ran and turned tail. They actually turned and fought, and it was some really good players. A lot of them were really laser when it came to some of their shots. It took us by surprise, but it was a lot of fun, and I think it's a cool, new, invigorating way to replay just the classic mode of Apex, something a little bit more to incentivize people to grind it out or push themselves a little bit further. Now, speaking of grinding it out, there are some new challenges that got added along with this new Elite Q gameplay, something to give us a little more content, which is something that people have really been asking for, and I think this is something that will hold us over until Season 2 drops, especially for some of those who have already completed the pass, probably for a while. I know I completed it after, most me and my friends completed it after about the 60-day mark. So we've been waiting around for a little bit, and sometimes it gets people, a little on edge, or they kind of find something else to do in the meantime. And that'll probably come and go a little bit here with Apex, because they're not going to be doing the Fortnite updates, as everybody well knows. But the cool thing is they are giving little bits here and there, and hopefully it's a glimpse into kind of some more things we could see from them. I do think that this was a step, because the challenges weren't really that difficult. They are pretty easy to accomplish and get out of the way. I know there's some bonus XP coming in for people who haven't finished the battle pass yet, but on top of that, it gives us some cosmetics that go along with it and something to earn for it. Each challenge gives you a cosmetic of some type, which is really neat in itself. There are only 4. There are 2 other cosmetics that I've seen so far in the store, but it looks like those are purchasable only. They don't show up when you actually look at the character under their skins, so I think right now the only way to get those is for anybody who's willing to spend the money on them. It's a Lifeline skin and a Mirage skin that go along with the theme of probably more or less what's going to be Season 2. But the challenge that I really did like, as far as like the cosmetic skin, were actually the first ones that we got because we had already completed the pass. But there's 4 of them in total. The first one is finish in the top 5 in any match. That will give you a legendary hunt badge. The second one is finish in the top 5 in an elite top 5 match. A little bit more difficult to do. It gives you a rare Wolfpack G7 Scout weapon skin, which is a little bit more of like a traditional print type skin. It's not really one of the high-end cosmetics where they went all out changing the physical shape of the gun, but it's still pretty cool. I like it. The third one is finish in the top 5 5 times in any queue. So this isn't just like in the elite queue you have to get 5 top 5 rankings. It's anything at all, which is really nice. It makes it a little bit easier to do as you're trying to get a couple of wins or trying to play in the elite queue. That gives you an epic Master of the Hunt Bloodhound Legend skin, the one that's floating around online. The fourth one is win twice in any queue, and I like the fact that they didn't really push people to have to grind out the challenges in the elite queue. There could have been 1 or 2 where they did, and that would have been really kind of raised the difficulty level quite a bit and been kind of cool. But nonetheless, that one gives you the legendary Team Beast triple take weapon skin. That one I'm not so fond of. The other ones I really like a lot, but that one not so much. And then without the challenges, there are cosmetics that you get anyway for getting further enough in the battle pass. Once you get 15, you'll get the Wraith battle pass skin. The Wraith event skin. And then of course, for just getting level 1 on the premium of the battle pass, you get the R301 skin to go along with it, which I've got in the gameplay. I actually really like that one a lot. I do have legendary skins on most of my weapons already, and my favorite is the R400 combo. I love the 301 and the 99, and I've got corresponding camos to go with it. But I figured I would try something different and play with this one, you know, as per the event, and I really like it. The glowing eye on it's really kind of neat, and it kind of shows the capabilities of what they can do with more of the skins. Hopefully kind of what we'll see in season 2. Alright, so you'll have to excuse some of the audio quality. I am doing all of this on PlayStation, by the way. I just want to kind of throw this in here real quick, and I went back and took a look at some that I've already done till now. So future me says, yeah, the part earlier where I said that the weapon skin was a part of the Battle Pass, that wasn't true. Like what we'll see in Battle Pass 2, Season 2, it's definitely Season 1, Wild and Hunt. And the 301 weapon skin, I believe you get for the free or premium, as long as on the Battle Pass you had level 1. But so anyways, to get away from that, more of this video was supposed to be a little bit about talking on what exactly it is. Now we're going to talk into kind of what we've seen in the elite queues, maybe a couple strategies, some of the things that we figured out while we were in there, and kind of how to survive and get a good streak going. The streaks do add up on the badge. So far I've gotten up to 3. I didn't play a whole lot today. I don't know if it goes any further. That I'm going to find out here soon. But it is kind of neat. But to get a really good game going, like I said before, I kind of thought there was going to be some people playing toward the edge and playing circle, which there was some, but I still do believe that's a really viable way to try to take yourself all the way through and keep yourself in that elite queue itself. There is a little bit of forgiveness I found out, which is something they didn't tell you. If you've already had a win, I believe, or you've been in the elite queue a couple of matches already, they will give you one final chance if you don't make it in the top 5 that match, and it'll come up with a pop-up and tell you that you've got one last chance. That was kind of a neat effect also, because it is, again, a higher caliber of players, and if you're used to playing in that queue, that gimme really does help, especially when you're trying to get a good streak going. The one thing that we definitely did was, if you're coming off playing the edge like you would in a typical match, if you see somebody, you don't try to reroute or get around. I mean, you obviously look for a good strategic point, but you really want to take them out quick. People are looking to third party way more in this if they're nearby, because their first thought is to hurry up and take you out and get back to what they're doing. It's not so much as it is in the regular gameplay. There is a lot of that, but this seemed way more intense. People really will turn and start firing on you the moment that they see you. There isn't really a mindset for distance or anything. A lot of people were really good and they are confident in their shots, so a lot more of that mid-range gameplay will probably happen. Now, I wouldn't say run out and go grab yourself like a longbow or something if you're not comfortable with a sniper, because the distance game isn't going to really help you so much in this either. People were really innovative in the way that they were flanking. They knew the maps really well. You could definitely tell these were some players who are at that upper echelon of playing Apex Legends, and it is a bit more refreshing and it's more challenging, but at the same time, if you want to stay in that elite queue, you're definitely going to have to work on some of the things that you might not have been good with your aim, or taking a look around you and getting better positioning. The positioning is definitely key in this game. If you have high ground, that's a big one that everybody knows of. Not only that, but trying to catch them by surprise. One of the big things we did is because everybody's so gun-ho and they're looking to hurry up and the fight, get it, and go, we were rotating very quickly. Any place that we dropped in, we didn't try to stay there very long, unless we held circle or a good position, but we would still keep a vigilant eye around all bases, make sure we weren't going to have somebody right behind us, and we wanted to kind of be the ones that were going to sneak up on somebody else, or definitely at least get the first drops on them and hurry up and take them out ourselves. It's definitely a kill or be killed version of Apex for sure. It already is that way, but this is a lot more fast-paced to me. It does make it a lot more fun and a little bit more invigorating. The cool part is you don't have to worry so much about when you first drop anymore, where you don't find a weapon. There's still going to be those scenarios, but they've done a little bit with this new update to try to help with that. They added more loot and kind of tidied it up in some other areas. There's some ups and some downs with that though. Pit, for example, we went to Pit a couple times. It's supposed to have twice the amount of loot. Not as much as scattered around and available to pick up right away. They kind of put it in some bins and did it that way. Thunderdome also, they added some bins and kind of picked some of the stuff up that was loose loot and put them in the bins. I feel like there's a little bit more maybe there, but at the same time, the other part with the bins is that on a hot drop, you're not going to run up and just immediately swipe through and steal some loot in front of somebody else. You're really going to have to commit to a bin or two and try to get what you can and rush somebody. So the first thing I would recommend is, if you get into a hot drop with some other people, slide through. If there's nobody around you, open all the bins, take a glance around, grab gun shield. That's your only worries. Real quick, gun shield, some ammo. You're going to want to immediately turn on people as soon as you can. That's going to be the big difference on breaking away from these early starts. Before, you could kind of flank around, get some different positions, you could back off, maybe go rotate to somewhere else. Here, we did see a lot where when we were rotating, we were doing it really fast, but you could very easily, for that same reason, rotate into somebody else doing the same thing. So again, if you see somebody, you want to real quick, decisively figure out, am I shooting on this right now? Are we in a good position? What is it that we want to do here? Teamwork is going to be a huge play on this. A lot of the people were working together very good. It wasn't a whole lot of the randomized players that you would see together. You didn't have so many of those freebie kills. It was a lot of people who knew what they were doing and they were communicating really well. One person, if they were throwing some grenades, one person would be playing mid to long range, one person would be getting in close, and they would collectively sort of move in on you. They would try to take away your flanks. This is something people were actively thinking of, which isn't something you're so used to in the regular one. Sometimes people, break off, go solo. You don't get that. So those freebie kills probably aren't going to happen. You're really going to have to work together with your team, find some people you click with, and that's going to be one of the big key differences to actually surviving and staying in that elite queue. The other thing is, like I said, we did play to the circle a bit, so we kind of rotated around the circle toward the side where it closes on the smaller end. We actually played a little bit in the circle just to try to get some loot in some areas. We were trying to move real fast through them, but we wanted to hit multiple areas because when we were initially trying to get loot, again, if you're just sitting there getting around for loot, the best way to get it is obviously off the people that you kill. But with people being so gung-ho, it was really easy to turn it around and have another team right on you. That's the reason people wanted to hurry up and finish it quick, is so they could turn around, heal up, get ready for the next one, or get into a new position and not get that other team coming up in that position where they knew the gunshots were at. So what we did was definitely play the circle. We started off pretty slow in terms of moving forward onto teams, and we ran into some teams doing the same thing. But there is a lot of edge-based plays. So first circle, a little bit of the second circle. We were actually in the circle pretty much the whole time. We just immediately found a bunch of heals after we broke off on what we were doing, and we would rotate collectively area, and we kind of divvied it up. So one person would have this side, one person would have that side, one person would run up the middle, and we would grab as much loot as we could, keep moving, and we would go to hit the next place. And these weren't like high places. We would hit all of the in-between places too. That's some of the ways that we were getting ammo. Ammo in the beginning was a very big concern, especially with the hot drops. You will definitely have to hit some more of those smaller places right after the first drops, just to make sure you get ammo, if nothing else. Your higher shields and stuff will come from some of those first fights, but ammo is going to definitely be the big one. That's pretty much all of the advice I can think of at this moment. I'm going to get into it and play a little bit more. This was just the first day, kind of my first impressions of it. I do like it. It's a good idea, and it was definitely a good way to get a little bit more cosmetics and some more content out there to people who've been asking for it, but it's just kind of a small little bit. So hopefully we do see a little bit more of some higher end content, because this was some good stuff, and I can't wait to see what's coming in season 2. But I hope you guys enjoyed everything, and I hope you guys leave some comments on some stuff I forgot, or something else that you found helpful, or maybe some things that you liked about it, or maybe some things that you think that we should get a little bit differently. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you think. Thanks, guys.